What's going on, everyone? I want to talk about this proposed Suns and Hornets trade that is being rumored and going around. The Phoenix Suns would receive Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, and the number 13th pick. Hornets received DeAndre Ayton and Cam Johnson. Now, this trade right off the bat, I think actually is a pretty fair trade given the circumstances surrounding Ayton and the Phoenix Suns. I mean, the Phoenix Suns are likely going to lose or give up Ayton one way or another. His time with the Phoenix Suns seems all about done, given his antics off the court, how he kind of basically just quit on the team, and they appear to be done and ready to move off of him. Charlotte's been trying to get a center for quite some time. PJ Washington has been in trade rumors since he was drafted, and you also get a Miles Bridges, which I think would be great, as well as the 13th pick. I think that is a huge return for the Phoenix Suns. Now, Cam Johnson may be tough for some people to swallow because he is a great player, he is a great scorer, he is young, and he has a lot of potential. But the Phoenix Suns get a lot of size and a lot of assets with this, including depth, which I think is really important. Ayton is basically gone either way. So I don't look at this so much as like an Ayton trade for these pieces. It's more of like Cam Johnson for these pieces because Ayton's, whether they match his contract or not, they're moving off of Ayton. And so I think that this would be a huge benefit for the Phoenix Suns, and I think that this would be a great pickup for the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, right off the bat, you have Lonzo Ball, right, or LaMelo Ball. LaMelo, he needs to have pieces around him for his future. He is a star in this league already, and he is just dominated in so many ways. But he needs those young prospects put around him to benefit for the future. And the Hornets team, as constructed right now, is really not working at this time, right? There's a lot of struggles. There's a lot of issues. They're just not getting the job done. They've lost in the play-in tournament 2 years in a row now, and they just aren't getting the job done. They're just good enough to get in the play-in, which that is new, and you wouldn't be in the playoffs if it wasn't for the play-in, and now they can't even get past anybody. So I think for the Hornets perspective, you get a nice young prospect, a nice young center, you get a nice wing to put around LaMelo Ball, and hopefully you can kind of construct the rest of your roster around those players. You have some bad contracts that they likely would like to get off of, but I do think that this would be a good pickup for the Hornets. And the one thing that they need more than anything is a center. And I think that they would get that center. LaMelo is good enough to facilitate and put Ayton in a good position to be successful. So I think that it would be a huge benefit. And then, you know, as far as the Phoenix Suns, like I said, Chris Paul and Devin Booker, they really need that depth. They need those wings. And we're seeing all the teams that were successful in this playoffs. What do they have? They have multiple wings that they could throw at multiple people in multiple directions to be successful. And the Phoenix Suns would be getting that in a PJ Washington and a Miles Bridges. Not just that, but now you have the two Bridges to kind of build around. They're young. They're both still, you know, in their early 20s, 23, 24, something around that line. And so you get young talent. You get more depth. You're moving off of a player that you're going to move off of anyway. Cam Johnson, yeah, I'm sure the Phoenix Suns would like to hold on to him, but at some point, you're probably going to have to pay him regardless. So he's a bench player right now. You're kind of more in win-now mode. This just gives you more pieces, more depth, more guys that can score, defend, do multiple things. And I just think that it would be a huge benefit to put around Booker and Chris Paul. And not just that, but we've seen Chris Paul and Booker, especially in these playoffs, when they struggle, that's it. Well, with a Miles Bridges and a PJ Washington, you get more scoring. You get guys that have already had to do more on the Charlotte Hornets, now coming into a team where they don't have to do as much, but you know that they're capable of doing that. You know that PJ Washington is capable of going and getting 20 plus. Miles Bridges is capable of going out and getting 20 plus. And I'm sure there are some games where that will happen, but you don't need to rely on them unless Chris Paul and Booker just don't have it today. Well, now you got these two guys that kind of compensate for that have been in bigger positions, bigger roles with the Charlotte Hornets. I think it would be a huge benefit for the Phoenix Suns. And then, again, for the Charlotte Hornets, you got these three core pieces to kind of build for your future. There's lots of talks about them maybe trading Rozier and Hayward and, you know, Aubrey, whoever they want to do. I think that they can. if they want to do the Westbrook trade or they want to do another trade or whatever to free up those contracts, now you have these three and you can kind of build around, right? I think that would be a great inherent core for the Hornets going forward. You got a nice young center, got a nice young point guard, combo guard. You got a nice young wing that can score in bunches if need be. He's a guy that can play defense. He's long, he's lengthy. Yes, you're giving up, again, a little bit of depth, and experience with the team, but as much as the size of PJ Washington and Miles Bridges is, yes, they're both, 6'8", 6'9" guys, you're still getting a quality center, especially in the Eastern Conference when you got Embiid, you got, Giannis, you got all these guys that just have stature and size. It would be nice to have an Ayton to compete with those guys, to bang down low with them. You get a Cam Johnson. The only thing that is interesting would be the 13th pick. I think that is just a little incentive to get a Cam Johnson and get an Ayton, because I think even a PJ Washington and Miles Bridges trade for Johnson and Ayton, I think is perfect. I think that is good enough in and of itself. I'm curious to see if this trade were to happen, if that 13th pick would be included. I don't think it needs to be, because everybody knows Ayton is all but gone. And so now at this point, Phoenix is just trying to get the best package possible for Ayton. And then, yeah, Cam Johnson is a tough loss, but you're getting two guys that are essentially the same player. So you're basically trading him for two of the same guys. Now, obviously, the Phoenix Suns would need probably more size, more center, but the free agency is filled with nothing but centers that are going to hit the market. And so now they would be in a position to go and sign, one or two of those they can bring back. There's lots of options that they have for the center replacement. So I don't think losing Ayton would be a big deal. What you do need, and what we've seen throughout these playoffs, you need Wayne-style players to really help you grow and advance in these playoffs. Guys, big bodies that you can throw at multiple people. Miles Bridges, you have, the other Bridges that is already on the Phoenix Suns, and then you have Washington. I mean, that is great, right? So you got the two Bridges to go and defend. You got PJ Washington who can play a small forward, power forward, and defend. You got multiple guys that can do multiple things and play in multiple positions. I think that is about as good as it gets if you're the Phoenix Suns. You get younger, you get some depth. I just think it would be a great opportunity for both teams. I really do think that this is a fair trade. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think about this trade? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think, Phoenix gets the depth that they need? They get two young prospects that can play multiple positions, that can score, that can defend, that can do a little bit of everything. It just raises the Phoenix Suns level entirely. They're going to be a contender regardless. But I just think that this alleviates so much of the issues that the Phoenix Suns have had the last 2 years that we've seen, even with their success, even with going to the finals. I think you get Miles Bridges and a PJ Washington. I think that really does help with a lot of the problems that the Phoenix Suns have, and one of the reasons that they lost to the Dallas Mavericks. I think these two would really help and be beneficial for that. And then I think, again, the Hornets, they get a nice young center that they can build around and for the future, along with LaMelo Ball. You get, your Cam Johnson, who has the potential to be something really great in this league. So I think that it's a real win-win. But again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the comment section below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports, join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one.